So what I'm going to go over today is just the system users menu. This is only available to people who are in the system as district administrators. And I double-checked everyone who did sign up for it, and all of you are, so that's good. I'll just go down each submenu that's available under that. I'm going to go ahead and mute it. So the first thing under the system users menu is Manage District Profile. This is where you control the district information. If you have, excuse me, if you happen to move your headquarters or change phone numbers or change how your emails are sent, you know, I know a lot of people are set up with that .k12.ca.us, and then sometimes they just switch to a .net email system. So that's handled in the Manage District Profile page. This is also where you would go to generate the invoice or service agreement when your annual fees come up. And then the next menu item is Manage Menu Profiles. I'm going to go over that after I do the last four. These two will take just a little bit more time, so I'm just going to quickly go through the rest of them. In case you don't know about it, the notification list is set up so you can be alerted when a specific person applies for a job in your district. You would just put in that person's first and last name. You'd select the person to be notified, which could be anybody listed as a user for your district, and save it. And all that means is that when that person applies to a job in your district, whoever is selected here to be notified will get an email. Under posting options, this page serves a lot of purposes. This is where where you have your record removal options. By law, old records regarding job postings and applicants need only be kept for 3 years. So you can set this, it defaults to 3 years. You can set it for a longer period of time if within your district, say you actually keep your records in filing cabinets for 4 years. You can change it to 4 years or 5 years. I do know of one large district who at first changed theirs to never delete. Their file got so huge that they could never access any of it because it took so long to download all the information that was in there. Their systems would time out before they could open. So I do not suggest that. In fact, I don't suggest going past 5 years. But like I said, you only are required to keep things for 3 years. So what happens is that if it's set for 3 years, what that means is that the job posting and all the documentation connected to that job posting will be purged from the system 3 years after it's archived. So it's not 3 years from the posting date or even the closing date. That if you say you archive it 6 months after it closes, then it's purged 3 years after that. The next section under posting options is the optional fields that you see on your job postings are controlled here. I'm going to go over and click on a Manage Job Posting and show you. Just click on a test one that's in there. And you'll see that the fields that were filled in on the posting options page will automatically come up here. Now you can put in, if you don't put in information in the field, then this will not show to the job seekers. But if you put, as example, the location of this is in the district office, save and view, then when this job opens, you'll see that that new optional field is there. But the rest of them are not because I didn't put any information into those fields. This is also helpful if you happen to use ID numbers for your postings. You can put them here instead of making them as part of the job name. Okay, and then also in this field, you can set it so even if when you're posting the job, you click to be notified when by email when somebody applies for a job in your district, you can set it here so nobody gets an email notification. Usually only small districts or single schools or something want to use that email notification feature. Excuse me. In a particularly large district, I can see that that would completely fill up your inbox. So there would be, for some people, that's not a desirable feature. Also, the job postings will show links to all your job descriptions, and that's all the job descriptions that are in your job description library. And if you don't know about this feature, I know that a lot of people will click on those and then make inquiries as to job descriptions for jobs that are not posted or haven't been posted in a few years. Personally, I think it's a good idea to click that. So the only job descriptions I'll ever see is the one that's related to that particular job. The next section under posting options is posting presentation. This is where you put your homepage URL, and when it's here, your mastheads and your job, your district name as it appears on the job posting are links. So if they clicked on your district name or they clicked on your masthead, it would take them to your homepage of your district's website. You can also include, if you choose to, a housing URL. This is especially good if you're in an area that's more rural and you want to try to attract applicants to your area. You can put in a URL there that will show them the housing availability in your area. And then down below that are your additional links. Now the links are first put in your link library. So you go to libraries and then you go to links, and you can either add a link that's to a website, and then the examples you see here are the Chamber of Commerce, or say you're down near Disneyland, you can put a link to Disneyland, or you can even put a link to particular departments within your school or district. So that's in the first section where it says add link. You actually, if you click on that, you actually have to have a URL, which would be a web page address to put in there. Also, you can add a link that's not a web page but a document. As an example, you can put in directions to your location. You can put in recruitment flyers that are separate from the actual job description. You can add additional flyers, put them in the link library first, and then under posting options, any that are selected here, these are automatically attached to all your job postings. So if you don't want any of those links attached to every job posting, you don't want to put it here. But this one allows you up to 3, and then in the job posting itself, as you probably already know, you can add up to 2 more. So you can have a total of 5 different links on any given job posting. The last one is for the mastheads. You can, well, this masthead is just huge. We suggest that the mastheads are generally no more than 125 pixels high or 725 to 730 pixels wide. You put a masthead like this on your job postings or your application, and they'll have to scroll down a page and a half before they even get to your job postings. So these are more desirable size. These are probably here just to show you what not to do. So once the mastheads are in your library, you can set the default masthead under posting options by here under define masthead image usage. You just select the one. This would be for the district job postings. This would be for the actual list of jobs for your district. And this one would be for your online applications. As you can see, you can select different ones for different uses in different places. Also, when you're posting a job, you can leave it at default, or you can select a specific one for a particular posting. If you have a separate masthead for a particular department or for a hard-to-fill position, something like that, you can create a separate masthead and use different ones in different places and even change them on a per-job basis. So that's all that's found under posting options. And if you had any questions about those, I will open it up for questions at the end, so you can just jot those down so you remember. The next thing under system users is the school list. It's important to keep this list of schools updated. If you close a school, you should delete it. You just click in the box and then click delete selected items. You can add a new school if a new one gets built, and you can edit. You do need to have the CDS code, which you get off the California Department of Education website. When a school is built, it is assigned a CDS code. Okay, and this is used, the reason it's a good idea to keep this current is if you use the under applicant tracking, when you hire somebody, if you use the hired feature, it does have you select the assignment as an example, which school they're going to be working at, or if it'll be the district office or whatever. So that's what that feature is used for. And then under tracking options, compare this with the applicant tracking grid. You can remove any of the grid that you're not using or you don't like to see there. Maybe you're not using the hire feature. You can remove that column if you don't use the cleared one. The cleared one is kind of open, that you can use that in any way you choose to, but you can also remove them. You can also add additional columns, and you would do that in this section, and I'll show you in a moment. In fact, I'll show you right now how that's used. So if you're in applicant tracking, I'm in with some applicants here. So you can see when I was in this section, these are all checked. So when I'm here, they're all here. Now, this first 5 are not changeable. Those are going to show no matter what. These are the ones that you can remove. And then when you add additional tracking grids, they show here under additional data. So if you want to, say they go through 2 pre-screening processes, so you mark them yes at the initial pre-screen, but what if you want to mark them yes or no for the second pre-screened, or yes or no to a second interview, or yes or no that they're a veteran and get preference points, or whatever your needs are, you can add them here by putting them under posting options. Just keep in mind that whatever you put under posting options will affect all your postings and all your tracking screens, whether they're for certificated or for classified. So if you run separate departments, then you're going to want to work that out together. Also, if you're using the paper screening question sets, you can set the maximum results here, maximum points. It defaults to 10. That say you're just using yes/no questions, so you're giving no a 0, yes a 1, and maybe exceeds a 2. And if that's all you ever use, you can set the highest score possible as a 2 or as a 5 or whatever, and save it. So when you go to the tracking, let's see here. Oops. Click on View. And say you're setting a paper screening question set. You'll see that the maximum points here defaults to 5. Now you can change that per posting as well. Whatever the maximum points you set in posting options, you can change it if you have a screening question set criteria that's got a different maximum points. All right, so now I'm going to go back to manage menu profiles. A lot of people don't realize that that you have the opportunity to create menu profiles other than what the standard are. For us, the standard is when you add somebody, let me go here. When you add a user, you can set them as a district administrator. A district administrator has access to all the menu bars that you see here. A district user has access to everything except the system user's menu. So they can't do any of the features that we've just been talking about. But they can post jobs, they can work in the libraries, create new library emails or job descriptions or edit them. They can search the applicant bank. They can do everything except the system users. Screener reviewers, by default, have the most limited access. And when they logged in, all they see is the applicants and applicant tracking. And then you can limit them further by limiting them to only be able to view postings that are assigned to them, or only to be able to view applicants within that posting that have been marked yes in the pre-screen column, or only to be able to view the application and not the profile, not to be able to view any notes, and they can't see the legal information. And then if you do limit them to assigned postings, then you have to assign the posting to them. And you assign them either as an app reviewer, which means they're just going to be looking at the applications and making their choices and based on just reviewing the application. If you assign a paper screening question set for them to score them online, then you need to assign them as paper screeners. When you do that, you'd click here, you'd click their name and move them over. And when you do that, they see screen. So they click on screen, they'll see the application, and they'll see, does this person have the needed education? So you score them 1 through 5 in this case. And then they can even make a comment. And then after they finish all the scoring, they can recommend them for interview, yes or no, and then record their answers. So that's the difference between an app reviewer and a paper screener. And the good thing about using the screening question sets and assigning them as paper screeners is that you can see if they recommended for interview, yes or no, without letting them have access to this one. Because if you take Johnny Cash and you mark him as no to interview and save it, you'll see that Johnny Cash is no longer on this list. So if you had more than one paper screener, if one person deleted that person, removed them by marking them as no to interview, the next screener wouldn't even see him to get to make that choice. So I think it's a good idea to, and so you can bring them back by just clearing that box and saving it again. And Johnny will be back on the yes, being considered list. So getting back to having told you all that, you can create a new menu profile. Say that you hire a summer intern and you give them the task of updating all your job descriptions. You can click on Add a New Profile and give it intern So you give it a name and sort of give a description of what that person is going to be allowed to see, and you click on Save. Now you can add what you want them to have access to. In this case, we don't want them to be able to see any of this stuff. We want them to only be able to see job descriptions and essential elements. And you save it. Oops. So now we have a new one here, and if I went in and I changed this user, let's see, that's how I'm in there, so I don't want to do that. I'm going to change this user to this, and now I'm going to log in as that person. Oh, let's see, that's not right, so I'll have to see what I did wrong there. They should only have this one. I don't like that to happen. Okay, I'm going to have to find out why that person is seeing applicants and applicant tracking. So that's embarrassing. It's probably something I did wrong, but I'll have to ask the programmer about that. I have you muted, so you might all be laughing at me right now. Anyway, and then manage user profiles. This is where you add users. You can show just active users. You can show deleted users. So say you you give somebody access, they only do screening reviewing like a certain time of the year, and then you want to delete them and not let them have access at all for a period of time, but then next year you want to bring them back. It's just as easy as clicking on the word restore to bring them back. To add a user, you've probably all done this. Just fill in all the required boxes. Only the first 6 are required. It's a good idea to have this information. If the person is being listed as a contact information and you don't want their phone number to show where it says contact and then phone number, you can just remove the phone number from here and it wouldn't show. You select what their access level will be, and like we just covered, you can create new ones if you need to. And I already covered what these limitations mean. These limitations are only to be used for screener reviewers. They are never to be used for district administrators or district users. District administrators and district users would almost always be HR people. Principals and hiring managers would be screener reviewers or anything else that you create. Okay, I'm opening up the microphones. Does anybody have any questions? Was that Terry? Okay. And M. Cardenas, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. No
Okay.
questions.
No questions?
No.
Okay. Well, that's the whole system users menu bar. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye-bye.